Imagine spending years building your brand only to find out that the name or logo is already taken. Or you're about to launch your service or product and you discover that the name is already taken. My name is Zara Watson Young, and I'm the co founder of Watson Young Law. And today I'm going to be talking about three essential things that female entrepreneurs need to know when it comes to trademarking. The first is the importance of trademarking. So, trademark protection is critical. It is the foundation of building a long lasting and legacy brand. It's really important when it comes to that brand recognition. You want to be recognized for your brand name. When people see your logo or your brand name, you want to be associated with that. And also, you want to be able to go after any copycats and anyone who might be infringing on your rights. So, having that trademark protection really gives you the exclusive rights to go after anyone who might be copying or tarnishing your brand. Second is the process, the trademark process. We often get questions about how long is the trademark process, what's involved, what do I need to do? So, the very first part of the trademark process is what we call a comprehensive search. So, we're going to be searching through various databases to make sure that no one else is using a similar name. So, we'll go through the United States Patent and Trademark Office. We will look at all 50 state trademark databases, and we'll also do what's called a common law search to see if anyone else is using your name on the internet. So, think of Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all the social media platforms, along with Google. We'll do a Google search to see is anyone else using a similar name. Once that search is done, we'll draft up a report for you and we will summarize any potential conflicting marks that we discover, and we'll come up with a game plan for you. In that same report, we will also write out your classification description. So when it comes to trademarking, you're protected in one of 45 different categories or classifications. So in that report, we'll let you know the specific classification number and how we're going to be describing your products and services on your application. From there, once we file your application, we will basically wait typically about 8 months for the government to review your application. So it's taking the government about 8 months now. Ever since COVID, it's taken them about 8 months, sometimes shorter, depending on the attorney's case docket, to review an application. So once we finally hear back from the USPTO, we'll hear one of three responses. The first, the government might say everything looks great, your application can move forward to the next phase of the process. Second, they may ask for additional information or for an amendment. And then if that's the case, we'll reach out to you. And if there's any additional information that we don't already have, we'll gather that information and submit it on your behalf. And then finally, the government might just unfortunately reject your application. So that's called a substantive office action. And we'll be given an opportunity to appeal that. And typically, that type of office action is where the government is saying that they found another similar mark that could cause confusion in the marketplace. Or they may say that your mark is descriptive. And in that case, we'll basically make arguments to show why it's not. Maybe it's more suggestive. There are different avenues that we can take to show why your application should still proceed, even if it is quote unquote descriptive. So from there, assuming everything looks good with your application will move forward to the next phase of the process, which is called publication. The government has a newsletter called the Trademark Official Gazette, and they basically will allow anyone in the public to oppose your application. They will have 30 days to do so. We always like to say that it's rare because we work with many small business owners. So it is rare that your application will be opposed, but it's still, of course, a possibility. And that individual or entity will have the option again to oppose your application. So they'll have to show proof as to why they'll be prejudiced, why they will be affected if your application were to proceed. So from there, assuming that there are no oppositions, your application will proceed to the final phase. It'll be reviewed one more time. And from there, your application will be federally registered. So that is pretty much the process in a nutshell. You're looking at anywhere between, let's say, 12 months to 18 months, depending on what happens throughout the process. So 12 to 18 months in terms of registration. However, it's really important to know especially as a female founder, if you're launching a product or service, that you can still launch. Let's say you're in the launch phase and you're not sure, should I be waiting to basically launch once my application has been registered? Once we give you the green light, you can basically launch your product or service. We will advise you to add that little TM symbol, and take next steps to prepare for launching. It is still a bit of a risk to launch if your mark has not been federally registered. However, you'll have a pending application and you can still proceed. So that is the second essential step that I wanted to share. And then finally, the third essential thing that female entrepreneurs should definitely know is just the benefits of trademarking. Like I mentioned earlier, you'll have that brand recognition. You'll be able to go after copycats. You can basically license your product or service. If you want to open a franchise, you'll be able to do so with peace of mind, knowing that you own the brand and that you can expand, right? And then selling, you can also sell your company if that is a dream of yours. If you want to sell your company, you'll be able to do that. You'll be selling the intellectual property rights to your brand. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. And if this was helpful to you, please like and subscribe.